This is the Team Objection Podcast. Dave is not here. We'll fix it.
I'm here. Hello.
We'll fix it. Don't worry.
Dave, I made
for
it
December 12th. No, shut the
fuck
fuck up.
I was vamping for you.
No.
For December 12th, 2023, episode 602. You know, in Hollywood, I think everybody knows when you have an 8 o'clock live time, you show up at 8 o'clock and you walk on set and everything's good.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's great. Everything's good and great. But it's mostly because this is a complicated setup. I think everything is working. Dave is visible. I need to try and get the chat back up without losing Dave. Nope, can't do both, so no chat today. I'll have it on my phone. But I still think I can keep Dave and the tier list up at the same time, so that's going to be fun. And as you can see, it's a continuation of last week. If you didn't watch last week, well, you should probably... No, you can watch this without seeing that first. So watch this and then go back and watch. We did all the top Zelda games. We're doing a massive Nintendo tier list. Problem is, when I looked through the list of all the games in that Nintendo tier list, it was missing half the things in the Mario series, like any sports games. So we're going to a different list, and then we're going to incorporate that into ours. It's complicated, but look, we're going to get most of it. It also didn't have Dr. Mario.
The sports games are the only reason Cody's here.
And Party, and Kart, although Kart's, I guess Kart's kind of a sport.
So, like, non-essential Mario games, the non-canon Mario games.
No, they're fucking canon. Waluigi debuted in one, jackass. It's fucking canon.
I read a list that tried to, like, make a story out of all of the fucking Mario
well, that's
Kart
nonsense.
And Mario
That's nonsense, but again, I will not let you say they're not canon when a very, famous, annoying character debuted in one of them.
That's true. That's true.
How dare you?
Well, we don't have a lot of time to intro, and we got to really get going because there's about 1 million games in this list, some of which we'll talk about a lot, some of which we're going to breeze right by. So...
I think we got to start with the mainline stuff. I had all these in order on the other list until I realized that the order wasn't going to work, and I started with all the mainline games.
Why, because they all start with Mario?
Well,
so they're alphabetical?
No, but let's find the original Super Mario Brothers. There it is with its god-awful box art. Super Mario Brothers, because I don't even know if I care about Mario Brothers. Is it on this list? I bet it is somewhere. But I don't care.
The original? I think it's farther, like one of the first ones there, like the second one in the list, total upstairs. But whatever.
Well, whatever. Let's start with Super Mario. Let's start on the actual original.
So we'll go through mainline games first, and then we'll work our way outwards from there. We'll hit them in groups, like we'll hit the carts, we'll hit the parties. But mainline Mario's and Super Mario Brothers is first. Go.
Yeah. God-awful box art because Mario's jumping into a goddamn wall while shooting a fire into it. Is that why? It's kind of odd. Like
it's
if you
in
look
the
at
background, Dave. Let's have some class, okay?
Dave,
he's not dressed correctly, okay? He's in the wrong clothing.
It is an interesting brand question why he's in the white and red on the cover of his first game. But in all seriousness, unlike Zelda, which is like it was so pioneering, right? It was the first to do so many things, but the thought of going back and playing it now, unless you're Dave, is kind of daunting. I think Super Mario Brothers is an S. I think it paved the way. Yes, it's important, but it's still like a blast to go play. I read this study on the amount of hang time that Mario has in this game is like the perfect amount of jump hang time. It's like this game is a work of art in every way and pioneered so much for like the entire industry, not just platformers, not just side scrollers, everything. And I think it's an S because it still holds up really well.
And what they did, like what they were able to do with the limitations they had, like the idea that they just said, okay, well, clouds and bushes are going to be the same thing. We'll just change the color palette because that doesn't take up any more memory. Like all these different things that they managed to somehow pull off with 8 bits of memory. Like that's it. That's it.
Great soundtrack. Like enduring soundtrack.
That's stuff.
Sound effects.
Decades. Yep.
You know what? Like I was thinking the other day, the coins, the sound of the coins, that doesn't sound like anything a coin would make when you think of coins. And yet you hear that sound and everyone in the world knows exactly what it is. It's brilliant.
I mean, this is definitely one of those games that, the nostalgia and legacy puts it up to the S, I think, because I mean, it's the first. It really made it so that console gaming at home was a possibility.
I think it has to be an S, and I think it has to be at the bottom of S.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because the other things that are going to end up in S are going to be much better games. And some of them also nearly as important. Nearly. Because you can argue this is the most important and influential video game of all time. So I think it has to be an S, even though I'm sort of with Josh in the chat where it's like, I have no interest in playing this anymore either, as Sean alluded to.
I would recommend it though, to people because it's still fun.
It's
Like-
fine. It holds up. But again, I can play such a better Mario game with about 8 other games on this list we're going to get to.
Sure.
Like, why would I go back to this? It's not that it doesn't hold up. It's just that a lot like Mario 64, which we'll get to, it doesn't hold up nearly as well now compared to other platforming experiences Mario has. That's all.
Yeah.
Especially from the side scroller type of look and things like that. Because there's one that I see that I like a lot better than the original one.
Right.
I have like 4 that I see that I like better as far as side scrollers.
Well, I mean,
Well, I
from
say
that,
5 better than.
well, from like that style of play, this is what I mean.
Oh, what happened here?
You have it. It's right there.
Where?
Up that third row, right there. Third row.
Oh, okay.
Third.
It
Under
just
Donkey
got-
Kong.
it
There you
got
go.
weird. I tried to scroll up too far and it got me out of full screen, and so it's gonna go in S and it's gonna sit there by itself for a minute.
So
but
should we just start talking about Super Mario 2? Like
yeah,
we're just going in order.
No, wait,
So-
hold on. Wait, which Super Mario 2? The one that was Lost Levels, or the one that
two.
debuted
No,
in
not
two.
Lost Levels.
Fuck Lost Levels.
Okay.
We'll get to it.
2 is a different game. We we alluded to this last week with weird Nintendo 2s. I enjoyed playing this game a lot, actually. I think it's fun. It's just not Mario at all. Even remotely. It's bizarre. They barely even keep any of the same assets. Like, all the enemies are different. Like, everything's different, and I know why. But you would think, along with some of the palette swaps, they could have introduced maybe some of the familiar enemies, but they didn't really. It's all Shy Guys and Birdos and weird shit.
And Wart instead of Bowser.
Yeah.
And
yet it's sort of like iconic. Like the idea of like pulling stuff up from the ground, which was like the big mechanic of that game. I had a great time with it still. It's actually first Mario game I ever beat. Super Mario 2. Yeah.
Which is funny because I don't know that I've ever actually beaten this one. I beat Mario, the first Mario, a few times, but I don't know that I ever beat this one. But it's like you said, it's still a fun game. I don't know that it's amazing, but it is fun. It kind of established Toad and Princess as playable characters for the future.
Yeah.
And gave Princess like that mechanic. They kind of gave the idea in this game of like maybe different characters can do different things, and they've really expanded on that in the future games. I'd put it in B tier myself.
I would agree with Dave.
Yeah, I think B is fine for it. And it might end up on the high side of B because, again, it's fun. It's a solid game. And considering what they had to work with and what they were making it out of, in retrospect, we've gone back and made some of these characters like Birdo more important to the series where they came from nothing. But I'm also like, considering the caliber of games that are on this list, if this is any higher than B, I feel like it's a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cody, any
I
objections?
never played this one.
I mean, okay.
I at least played the original one, but I never played this one.
Let's hit Lost Levels because we're talking about it. I don't want that in D.
I can't. I mean, I don't never played it. I
Well,
just know it's really, really, really hard.
It's really hard. Some of
Mhm.
the levels are actually more well designed and fun in some ways, but it's like it also has nowhere near the cultural impact of the original. So like I don't know how this is higher than maybe C.
It's got to
Can't
be
be in
low
D.
C. It's low C because it's still the fun thing is it's basically just more levels on Mario 1 and a few other powers or a few other like enemies, or they did the poison mushroom that kills you if you get it. So it was just one of those things of like, hey, let's just build on the game that we made previously. How great is that? But yeah, I didn't even know what it was until after it was released on Super Nintendo as part of that whole Mario All-Stars thing. And even at that point, I didn't realize that was supposed to be Mario 2.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, it's easy to say this now because we had the benefit of time, but it's maybe for the best it wasn't Super Mario Brothers 2.
Isn't it
It's
like
true.
punishing? Like, aren't some of the levels like just designed to kill
Yeah,
you?
but it's also more like it didn't innovate almost in any. Yes, there's the
Yeah.
small changes Dave mentioned, but like 2 was so radically different. Do we get 3 without the 2 that we did get? Who knows? Never know. We should not spend much time talking about 3. It was in our best games list, so
Oh.
It's S. It's high
it's
S. I
S.
fucking love this game.
we can quibble over where in S once we get some more stuff up there, but it's S. It's one of our top 25, so like it needs to be an S. It's that simple.
It's
Tony,
amazing.
But you agree, S?
Me? Yes, absolutely.
It's
That's the one that I had the most fun playing when I was really, really young.
3 is like part of why Wonder's so good, I think. But
Could be. And
Well-
some people might say that's the best of the series. I wouldn't agree with them, but some would.
some would.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you go the platformer route, God, it's between that and World, I think.
And World we've talked
Dang.
about quite a bit, and it was on our original top 25. I don't think did it make the cut on our most recent list? I don't think so.
I think it was
think
right
so.
on.
I believe
right
this is
on
the-
edge of making it.
I believe this is the first game I ever actually completed and beat. Is Super Mario World.
Did you beat this 100%?
I don't think so.
Like
Not-
all the
not as-
levels, all the like you go through. The thing I remember about this is that you go through the special levels, and all of a sudden, all the Goombas turn into Mario heads, and you
Yeah.
couldn't get them back, and that actually made me a little mad. That made me not want to beat the special level in future playthroughs because I'm like, wait a minute, I don't want to stomp on Mario heads.
It does sort of go against what you've been trained to do. Now,
It
in
does,
between this and, well, I guess we've had two games in between this. Let's touch on the lands real quick before we get to 64, because Land came out after 2, and Land 2 came out after Mario 3. I think maybe even after Super Mario World, if I remember correctly. I think it was the next year. But let's hit the two lands, and then we'll jump into the start of the main 3D Marios. I got to find them.
If you guys go ahead, I never had the Game Boy, so I have no idea.
If I
Exactly.
remember, Land 1 was okay. It was weird.
Yeah, there they are. I'm right on.
Land 2 was great. It was Wario was the bad guy. The levels were really imaginative. I remember it being pretty tough. There were a lot of like secrets to find. I remember it being really solid and a huge step up from 1.
Yeah. I liked both these games just because Portable had a Game Boy, only system I owned for quite some time. Land's not very good and doesn't hold up well at all. So, like, I think that's C. Land 2, I think, is an A.
Yeah, doesn't Land 1 like not even like I remember in some ways not even feeling like a Mario game the way it
akin
controls.
to Mario 2, not only in the way that it controls feeling differently, but also a lot of the enemies are just brand new and not from what the series was at that point.
Yeah.
So, like Mario 2, it feels like an outlier. So I feel like it's like here.
Okay.
Like, it's not a D. It's playable. It's fun. It's fine. But I don't think it's any higher. Whereas I gotta land an
Hey.
A unless someone's stopping me.
I played Mario
2.
Land 2 all through a Disneyland trip once. And my aunt screamed at me to put away my Game Boy.
So nothing's changed in your life.
So nothing's changed at all, except
Jesus,
it's not
Sean.
Mario Land 2 anymore.
Do you know that like the last times we've been on trips, I've wanted to smash your DS because it's like, Sean, get the fuck off of it.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm talking. I'm
Yeah.
fine.
No,
The same-
you're not.
The same argument goes through my whole life.
The fucking
Okay.
Switch is in the car, packed
Yeah.
away for what the 3-minute drive he has to go from place to place.
Yep, it's true. It's kind of pathetic.
Are we on Mario 64
We're
now?
on 64, but again,
Um,
that was in our top 5.
Well, actually, no, we missed one that we need to get first. Is Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island.
That's a Yoshi game, Dave.
Okay,
Dave.
my mistake.
Whose name is in the title?
Yoshi will be
Super
later
Mario
on
World
this
2.
list.
All
It's
right.
confusing because there's a big Yoshi on the cover of like Galaxy 2, for example. And look, there's some blurring of the lines. I don't think they put in the Mario versus Donkey Kong games, but those are Donkey Kong games, so that's okay. So
Dave, I know your confusion though, because I think it's called Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island.
It is.
Okay,
that's right.
Okay,
It is.
And it's up
Yes.
here for
Okay.
what it's worth.
Yes.
But I'm saving
right,
that for
so
I mean,
Mario
we can do it
64.
here if you want. I don't care.
I don't know. That's fine.
It just was, yeah, the Super Mario World 2. I freaking love this game. I loved this game back when it came out on Super Nintendo. The mechanic of playing as Yoshi, going through the levels had this like cute aesthetic to it, but also were pretty challenging throughout there. And having the mechanic of chasing down Baby Mario the entire time, I don't know. I thought the level design was amazing on this, and then throwing the eggs was just an innovative type of different attack system.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant for the mechanic of like you don't your health is like the baby. Like if you get hit,
Yeah.
the baby falls off. Theoretically, you can get hit as many times in a level as long as you keep getting the baby, you're fine.
Mhm.
So I thought that was a really smart way to like increase accessibility. And then the eggs, like you could have just had coming off Mario World. You know, Yoshi had his own set of controls. He had the tongue. You could have left it at that, but you're Nintendo, so you're like, you know what? We're gonna do this whole new egg firing mechanic, and it's gonna be awesome. I do. I agree. I love this game.
Deserves some credit for the introduction of the flowers and the red coins as well, because we didn't
Mhm.
really have hidden
Mm.
collectibles and levels in the Mario series at this point, and of course 64 borrows the red coin mechanic for the
Mhm.
8 that gets you a star in their own levels. So I have it
Yep.
in high A. I can't put it in S. I love this game.
I think we got to be discerning, and I don't think it's an S either, but I really do like it.
Yeah, like high A. I
Yeah.
don't know if anything's going to beat it, but I don't have it in S.
Especially because I think Dave might be going S. So,
think so.
high A is.
I freaking loved it, but it's when I compare it to things like Mario World and Mario 3, I don't know that I could put it there.
Yeah.
I would beef with Super Mario 64, the next thing we're covering here. I would have Super Mario 3 ahead of Super Mario 64 because I enjoyed it more, but that's a personal thing, I think.
Our group list had it in number 5 for our entire
I know.
website. So
Yeah,
we've already adjudicated
And
this.
you know what? And it is not that you're wrong, Dave, but it is like well, maybe not even just you. I will say for me, I love this game. I went back, played it recently as part of that collection. Yeah, it's a much rougher nowadays for sure.
Mario 3 holds up better.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. It really does.
Yeah, but Mario 64 was way more influential than Mario 3.
Yeah. And it's still great fun, and man, I love the level design. I love the themes. It's still a brilliant game. But
if you're new and you're like, wow, they're dusting over some of the greatest games of all time. No. We've talked about these a ton in other variety. And if you like you want our takes on these, go find our best games list that we redid after a decade. But we're just trying to save time for all these games you can see on your screen down here, by not talking about ones we've talked about a bit already.
Dave, to your point, I agree with you. I actually like 3 and World more than I liked 64. Just so you're not completely alone.
For once.
Yeah.
He wants you to see what that feels
like. It is amazing that somebody agrees with it. But it is. But yeah, you're right. I mean, as far as innovation, Mario 3 was innovative in the sense of like the world map and the multiple exit levels. But Mario World brought us into 3D gaming, basically.
So maybe this is time for my hot take. I really like Sunshine a lot.
Nope.
It's bizarre, and it's not just because of the water pack. A lot of the level designs feel like another company made a Mario game and stuffed Mario into it. And I can't put my finger on why. And it also continued this theme with the GameCube where, like, for some reason, Nintendo's like, you know what, we're going to make all the games about water. We're going to have Wind Waker, we're going to have Sunshine, we're going to have Wave Race. It's all water with GameCube. That's a theory. That's a conspiracy that I have. I still love this game, though. Yes, the best sequences are when you take the pack off. But it's still really good.
Ruby Sapphire came out around then, too. It wasn't a GameCube game, but...
Water. Too much water, infamously.
Water everywhere. I think Sunshine got too much flack for trying to do something more unorthodox, for trying to change up the formula a bit. I don't think it's what anybody wanted at the time. I think if you go back now in retrospect, you realize there's some good stuff in here. But I also agree with Dave's take where I'm like, I still have no interest in the Flood. And my least favorite parts of that game are still associated with when it's strapped on your back. Because when I get back to a traditional Mario platforming, I have a blast. And when I'm controlling water jetpack, I don't have a blast overall.
I thought the jetpack part of it was kind of fun, but I could have done without the shooting water.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. So I think I have it in B.
Sean defends another company making a game and making it a Mario thing. Remember that another company made a movie and called it a Mario thing, and Sean said it was like the biggest abomination in the history of the world? I mean, it's the same argument.
Yeah. But wait, first of all, I don't know what you're talking about. Second of all, Nintendo did make this game. I'm just saying it feels like sort of foreign. I would say A.
I would referencing the original Mario movie that everyone hates so much. But anyway, I would put it in high C myself.
High C?
Yep.
Good God. So I guess it's in fucking B then. Jesus Christ.
Really
high C? Like this man has no taste.
I don't like the game. I just did not enjoy it at all.
Let's go through the 3D ones before we dip, because technically New Super Mario Bros. Started its series around this time, but we'll get to those later. So let's head to Galaxy and Galaxy 2 and tackle them in tandem. We've talked about them some in our top games list, but we can do a little on them here.
Can I, really quick, did Sunshine introduce Baby Bowser?
No,
because it's in Yoshi's Island.
Oh, okay. All right. So Galaxy.
Because if it did, further points removed.
Exactly. That was my concern.
Yeah. Technically, the two Mario worlds are responsible for my least favorite thing about that, and it's the Koopa Kids and Baby Bowser.
Yeah.
Get them all the fuck out of here.
I like the Koopa Kids. I don't like Baby Bowser.
Those were in 3. Koopa Kids were in Mario 3.
That's true.
The first time.
Galaxies.
Galaxy. Love it. I mean, change the way you think about Mario. And what I remember is this was one of the only games ever that in a GameStop I wanted to play just to try this weird mechanics, and they introduce it to you right off the bat. I think one of the very first levels, you're on a little round thing and you're moving in circles, and the way that they play with gravity, seemingly incongruous with Mario, like Mario in space, you would think doesn't make a lot of sense. But you get some of the best platforming in the series, maybe only topped by the sequel. It's just another demonstration of Nintendo's innovation continual.
Yeah, it's one of those games that, again, you look at it, you almost look at it and you're like, what the hell are they doing? And then you play it And then you realize like you're running around a sphere and it feels intuitive almost, even though you're literally running upside down. Somehow it's like, yeah, okay, this makes sense after you kind of get a grip on it. So it is a little crazy how well it works. Introduces a new character, so it's very good, very, very good.
When you consider the time between 64 and Galaxy, which was almost a decade, it's tough for me because 2's a better game. I don't think it's that close. Not saying Galaxy's bad by any means. Galaxy brought more to the table as far as bringing new elements to the series, whereas 2 refined them.
Perfected it.
But I think I have like, I think that they're both in A, high A. I don't know if I have either one in S. If I do, it's Galaxy 2, but Galaxy 2 is ahead of Galaxy for me, but it's close.
You just brought up the big conundrum with me because I think Galaxy 2 is a little more fun. I don't know if Galaxy had green stars.
The original?
No.
Yeah, Galaxy 1?
I don't think
No.
so.
That's a huge step up for 2,
Yes.
which was, hey, you beat the game. Ready for another game? But that's totally different. And you're like, why? Why did you even do this? It was an embarrassment of riches in Galaxy 2. But you don't have to without the first one because it just took all those mechanics and just brought them up a step and heightened them. So I feel like I'd vote one of them in S, probably Galaxy 1 for the importance. But then you go back into the debate we just had. So
I may counteract you here. One, I didn't play Galaxy 2. Never beat it. Never played it. So I don't know anything about the actual gameplay. Played Galaxy 1. I still enjoy it less than I do Yoshi's Island. So it would be right below Yoshi's Island, personally, I think.
Did you play the one?
So it'd be A.
I played a little bit of 1. I think to Sean's point he was making about Sunshine is that they tried something new and it worked, as opposed to being totally weird and out there. So like I thought the introduction of how Galaxy, what you do in there, you guys already saw said it's fascinating to be able to use that mechanism. So I mean I would put that up pretty high. I mean again I don't know if either of them are necessarily S to me, but I never played 2, so that's the better of the 2 games. That's a little tricky for me to like actually have an opinion on.
I'm gonna look up the green stars in the first one because Dave being like, because Dave they only show up after you get every single star in the game.
So Dave obviously didn't do that, so that's fine.
That's
You're
kind
right.
of
I
why
did
I
not get every single star in Galaxy.
I am tentatively, we can circle back. Obviously, these are not set in stone. I'm tentatively putting them both in A at the highest A, and I have 2 ahead of Galaxy. We can always tweak it later. Just trying to summarize where people are at on this, but it's extremely close, and I think they should be right next to each other because they're both important in different ways.
We are both wrong or right, Dave. There are green stars in Galaxy, but there's only 3.
Yeah, Josh mentioned that.
Oh, nice.
Josh
Okay.
missed that.
They're not the green stars mechanic that we saw in 2.
Yeah.
2 is a whole discover new ways to explore levels and stuff that is not equivalent of what it was in 1. I suppose we should get to Odyssey once I find Odyssey.
Which I hope this is not recency bias. I actually think Odyssey is an S for me.
It's an S for me.
It kind of jumps the series forward again. You still get the building from, gravity and all that other stuff that they do in Galaxy. But like it feels like every level is like an experience. And they're kind of open worlds. That doesn't kick you back into the lobby. Getting the moons is extremely satisfying. It's just all the different. You seek out the stars because not for completion, but because you want to experience all the challenges that they have in store for you, and I think that is super impressive.
Yeah, in some ways, I'm almost more impressed by the level design because they needed to make these big worlds that had stuff that were discoverable, whether it's actual moons you see in the distance or just something that looks neat. Oh, wow, look at that hanging upside down tower. Look at this. The dragon's kind of its own level, but like, look at this dragon I'm coming across. And so like you had these scripted routes in Galaxy where you had to like, okay, I'm going to load into a level and it's configured for this run for this star, which is good in its own way. But the undertaking of making the worlds they had in Odyssey to me is more impressive. So like it's an S for me, but I don't know where in S.
I really did enjoy it, and I got so many moons. I don't remember exactly I want to say 500. I didn't get all of them, but I got a lot. I mean, I got a ton of them. The only thing that like it was rewarding when you got moons and you went through all these levels and you kind of had that rule of 2 where like you go into a side area and you're like, okay, well there's the main one and then there's a secret one basically. So you kind of had this feel for it. But I will say my complaint with it is that sometimes it did feel like it cheapened getting a moon. Like, yeah, you solve the puzzle and that's fine, but it's like, okay, great, I got a moon. I've got 400 others. So I don't know. It kind of.
Maybe, but I think by the time I think it's a testament to Nintendo's design where by
Yeah.
the time you're at 400, you're kind of, I think, at the point where you're like, I'm kind
You're
of
still
wanting to
going
get
for it.
as many as I can, right? And
Yeah.
that kind of touched you. You just actually reiterated what I said of like at some point it's less about like getting the moon and more about like getting to do the challenge, with the one exception of the jump rope, which I did. And I can't exactly say it was worth it, but I did it.
Maybe it's not fair, but these are the most tight and robust controls in a Mario game.
Mm-hmm.
It is platforming perfection, I would say. Cappy gives you so many different options for utility, and you don't necessarily have to use most of them, but if you bother to learn them and get the timing down, then you feel even more rewarded as a player.
But like in a way that's integrated with Mario's movements as opposed to like Flood. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like
it all
still
just
feels
fits with
naturally.
them.
Yeah.
Now I can do a long jump with an extension. Now I can do a triple jump with a wall kick off the hat to spring on. Like it's just one more tool that already fits what he does.
Plus, if you really get it, you can
Story.
like surpass the whole level by doing like the super extra long sequence with the long jump. Oh, so fun.
I have it here in the middle of
that's-
S.
I
Fair.
would vote Mario World above it personally, but
I
if
agree.
you have it higher, Chris, then that might just be
No,
where
I'll move
it.
it down.
Okay.
I like Mario
I agree.
World, but I thought I was going to be in the minority on that.
You know, personal anecdote of this, I was playing a lot of Mario Odyssey, and then my son wanted to try to play Mario 64 that we had on our old Wii, and going from Mario
Oh, yeah.
Odyssey's controls to 64 is like, oh God, what am I doing?
So
I can't do
slippery.
anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It just feels so bad in reverse. Jaguar says he
Yes.
liked Sunshine more than Mario 64, which disqualifies it. Not necessarily.
Yep.
You can like whatever you want. And if this was a like list, Galaxy 2 would be an S for me. But we're trying to factor in a few different things here, not just enjoyment. The heart wants what the heart wants. Let's grab 3D World while we're here. And I guess Bowser's Fury. I'm just putting it in D just to pull it up here. I'm not actually putting it in D.
I want to go play it. I've heard great things, and it's a new. It's like a more open world Mario game, Bowser's Fury or something.
Bowser's Fury is. I played a
Yes.
lot of Bowser's Fury, and it is infuriating, actually,
Oh.
I think.
Hmm.
Is it because you suck at it?
Maybe. It's a possibility because I mean Mario 3D World is a good platformer. It's fun and introduces the cat mechanic. It's fun. It's nothing amazing. It's fun. It's a high B for me. Bowser's Fury it seems like it has a lot of potential, but I feel like if you fail at beating the giant Giga Bowser, it's so hard to get more cat shines to try to lure him out to beat him again that you just get stuck after a while. And then you're like, oh, great. Now I got to find these really hard cat shines, and you're just kind of screwed after a while. So I had a hard time with it.
I respected the
I've never
idea, and there
Yeah.
were certain elements of it I enjoyed when I played it, but I can't say it really added to the experience for me. I also have 3D World in high B. Again, if it was a fun factor, it'd be higher, but I think high B is a good spot for
Yeah,
it.
I agree.
There it goes. At a certain point, I'm going to have to start grabbing other series so I don't lose my mind, but we should probably hit the news. So if there's any of these you feel strongly about, because they're all in the main line, technically, by all means, go ahead. I have
actually-
a couple I care about.
I don't care about any of these.
Except one for me.
Which
There's
is
one that I care about on these.
which is funny leading up to Wonder because I assumed it was going to be like these. Spoilers, it was not, but they're fine. They're like Mario. They're like new gloss Mario games, and I don't feel much more strongly about them than that. There's some fun challenges. Some of them are really tough when you get to the later levels. Yeah, that's it.
So-
They're Mario games.
These are all kind of fall into that same Mario 3D World where it's like, hey, it's fun. It's new Mario levels. It's kind of the same thing that I've always seen. It's just new.
Yeah.
New Super Mario Brothers, on the other hand, on the DS, that to me was a lot of fun because I hadn't had a 2D platforming Mario game in a very long time. So it kind of brought back some nostalgia on there. And the giant mushroom that they introduced in that, just to like make you the size of your DS and
Stupid,
smash the
yeah.
entire screen. It was so much fun. I
Yeah.
freaking loved it.
I'm
So
gonna
that's the
go
one I really
personally.
have strong feelings on.
I'm going B on all of them, so I'm easy in a way.
I think the difference
I-
is these two, which for the audio listeners is just the 4-player ones, which is we and you, get a slight boost for me because of the 4-player co-op.
Sure.
I would have the other ones in high C, to be honest. I think they're forgettable Mario games overall.
Yeah, I would have them in C as well. I don't care for them. I put New
good.
Super Mario Bros. The DS in low A myself because it's that much fun, but the other ones I'd put in C.
I'm putting, let's see.
I
probably liked you more than we, so I'll put those both
I feel
at the
like
bottom of B.
C is a little low. I mean, if you guys feel that way, then fine.
I don't mind necessarily this one, the DS one that Dave's talking about, being in B as well. I think the other ones, the sequels and stuff, overstayed their welcome. And the one that was all about just coin was one of my least favorite in the series.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
I'll have to go find it down there. I'll put this... No, I said this was good, so I'll put this here.
I put Iron freaking Sunshine, that's for sure.
It was 2, wasn't
Is
it?
it this one here?
I thought
with
so.
all the coins on the
It
screen?
looks
I
like
think
it.
it is. I would have that in D, to be honest. I really did not enjoy my time with it at all.
Is it?
You
why? Just because you're collecting a thing that for a seasoned Mario player really doesn't matter that much?
Kind of, yes. Because nowadays with like Wonder, the challenge isn't in number of lives or coins. It's just completing levels, doing challenges. They finally recognize that it's like, we don't care about 100 coins equals a 1-up.
Yeah.
Whereas this game's like, what if you had every coin in existence? And I'm like, I don't like that. I don't want that. So D might be too harsh, I'll be honest, but I want something in D for now.
Sure.
And I don't care about like Deluxe. I don't even know if I would care to put it in my list, to be honest. There's a couple other down there.
Please move New Super Mario Brothers ahead of Sunshine. Like, that's just hurting me to see this. It's probably ahead of, honestly, for me, it's ahead of all of those.
God damn it, Dave. That's wrong. That's wrong.
It's ahead of 2 as well, but it's fine.
God damn it.
No, don't push your luck. I'll put it in fucking C.
God.
We should probably switch to carts. We'll go through and pick up stuff I've missed, but we hit almost all the mainline titles.
As long as we get to Wonder eventually, I'm happy.
Wonder's not on this list, and we also can't review it yet. We have to save that for the end of year thing.
Well,
we'd mentioned Tears of the Kingdom, but we didn't go into it in full for the same reason.
Fuck.
So hold your thoughts on
Wonder would be an S.
Right.
It might be an S. We'll get to it at the end of year
exactly.
thing. Original Super Mario Kart, while important, and obviously it set the stage, is a C.
It's not very good.
It's maybe my favorite just because I have all the nostalgia with it. It's connected to like me and my dad maybe played this more than anything. It's a C. It's a low C.
It's really not that good.
I'm going to say B. I still think it's good.
You can see the rubber banding. You think it's bad in 64.
Yeah.
This is scripted. This game is scripted in its outcomes. The order of finish is determined by who you choose.
Yeah.
You can disrupt that with a well-timed item on the last lap, but it's kind of a mess, and it's really hard to go back and play. I did recently. It's bad.
Yes.
It's so punishing. If you don't finish top 4, fuck you. Race again, bitch.
Yeah. And if you run out of lives, you die.
Yeah.
64 is my hot take in this list. I don't think 64 has held up very well either. Case in point, using a super mushroom and driving right along somebody who's not using a super mushroom and doing absolutely fucking nothing. Again, a lot of fun. Loved it back in the day, and I'm not going to dare put it in like C, but if this ends up higher than a B, I think y'all are smoking crack.
I have it in A personally. And a lot of that is nostalgia. A lot of it's for what it did, but like there were a handful of Nintendo 64 games that were must-owns that moved the system, and Mario 64 was one of them. So yeah, maybe the racing today doesn't hold up as well, but it was so replayable. And all the levels were so well designed, so distinct and so different. My vote is A.
So my only trick is like there's two different experiences with Kart. It's playing alone against the computer and playing with actually all 4 players on 64.
Yeah.
It's almost two different fucking games to me because playing with 4 people on 64, I'd vote that an A like Sean did. Voting when I'm having to play it by myself and some of the shit that happens, yeah, it's fucking frustrating. And it doesn't hold up nearly as well if you're not taking up, what is it, there's 8 carts, so 4 people are eating up half the field, basically.
Yeah. I vote A. It's one of the last great Mario Karts, in my opinion, that I think a lot of you are going to think is very wrong, but there's only one kart better than Mario 64.
Is it 8?
I highly disagree.
Oh.
Yeah, 8 and Double Dash clear this, and I don't think it's super close.
So
I would Mario Kart 64. I would put in probably B myself.
Well, if I'm the only A and you guys are B, it sounds like it's definitely
It's like
B.
I have it A if I'm, again, playing with a group, but I think it probably brings it down to a high B because I have to deal with so much of the bullshit.
Yeah,
well,
you're right. It's a lot more fun in like battle mode or those Grand Prix with people than in the one-player mode. The single-player mode is god-awful.
That's a good point. I mean, 64 battle mode, I played, I don't know,
it's
among
great.
the most of I've played anything in my entire, like, how many nights I stayed up late at night with, like, on, like, sleepovers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just playing battle mode over and over and over again. And it's seemingly never getting old. Yes, there's some elements to it that are really, really good.
Super Circuit, was that the one?
It's for the Advance, so we got it portable. I played the hell out of this game because I was a big Game Boy Advance guy because it was like a portable Super Nintendo.
Was this the drag one? Was this the game with like you play into the drag of like when you drive behind somebody and you get a speed boost?
I don't remember.
God,
I never played.
That
this
was
one,
in the
so
game
I
by
don't know
DS.
the
I don't
difference.
remember if Advance had it or not. It's been too long. I mean, I was probably 12.
okay. Well, wait. So where do you guys
64.
want to put 64? It sounds like B.
I would say high B.
I'm not putting it on top of B.
That seems fair.
I had it as a C.
That seems
But
fair.
I will acquiesce to the group. That's how it works. Super Circuit was good. It was nice to have a portable Mario Kart. Only a couple tracks have really stood out, and those have been brought into 8, which is kind of the main complaint about a couple earlier Mario Kart games. It's like, I can play those tracks in 8 now. So, like, I have it below the original because it didn't really make an impact.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now,
That's
again,
fair.
this might seem harsh to put it in C, but we're thinking about the overarching tier list as well here. So it's like, yeah, like most Mario games are better than other games in the industry by comparison, but we're not doing that this way. So we can fly through a couple of these. Double Dash, though, maybe my favorite, not saying best.
It's
Well,
borderline S, man. It's amazing. I
think
love
it's-
Double Dash.
Here's my opinion. This is my maybe hottest take: is if we have a Mario Kart in S, personally speaking, it's Double Dash.
Yeah,
Because I
agree.
know what 8 has done. And we'll get to it when we talk about 8. But Double Dash to me is like perfection. The handles, the strategic variety, how they pair up, the fact that you can pair up at all makes it gives it a really fun mechanic both in multiplayer and single player. I played the hell out of this game, and I think every track is like perfection. I love it. I love this game.
Probably best tracks in the series.
Yeah, and I think they also introduced the fact of I think this is the first time they had something that wasn't the traditional 3 laps. Like they had like the baby park, for example, one of the courses in here. Where it's like, oh, you do 7 short laps. I want to say that's one of the first times, if not the first time, they ever did that, and they broke that mold.
Yeah,
I love this game. I played the shit out of this game on my GameCube.
it's just so enjoyable. And unlike 64. Where the I like the single player, but the multiplayer is better. No matter who you are, it's better. This one, it works on both. Like, go through a single player mode, it's still great.
Rock has been on one in chat today, and I hate to call anybody out, but RC Pro-Am and Top Gear are better than any Mario Kart. You need to get off the crack. Stop.
What?
And RC Pro-Am's
Pro-Am?
great. I can't say I played enough of Top Gear, but like any Mario Kart, stop. Mario Kart Double Dash is an S.
Yep.
I think it's an S, right?
Yep. Oh, I have it higher than
Any
8.
is in there.
I don't think I can. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine there.
It's interesting to me. It's like, why haven't they tried this again? Why? Why?
Yeah.
I don't understand. DS is a B.
It's fine.
It's
fine.
better than the Advanced Circuit 1 Super Circuit.
For me, it's a high B, mostly because this is the first time I did get to have Mario Kart handheld. Because I didn't have Game Boy, so the fact that I got to play wherever I wanted to, and the fact that I think this is the first one I could get online with, really. Like GameCube had the kind of ability, but this one was really the first one that you'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna play online and play against other people. So I didn't have to have a room full of people.
Yeah,
we did. Yeah, so it was like right in the beginning of like Nintendo was like, oh hey, Xbox Live has been around for 9 years. Maybe we should jump in on this.
I think I'd DS in like mid to low B, like here.
That's fine. I don't care.
Yeah, I'd be a little. I've got a lot of fond memories of DS though, so like I think that's why I've got New Super Mario Brothers and Mario Kart DS higher than everybody else. But that's just me.
Is 7C?
Yes.
I never played it.
It might be the most unremarkable Mario Kart game in the series.
Yeah.
What was it on?
They brought the gliders. Not very well. So I think it's a C, and I think I have it like here between the original and Super Circuit.
Yeah.
What system was this even on? I don't even remember playing it.
The Wii, I believe.
I didn't even know. I know that maybe it was in the Wii U, and that's probably why I never played it.
No, it's a 3DS game.
3DS.
3DS. That's why.
Mario Kart 7 is only 3DS.
Yeah.
What the wow? Then
Wow.
Have you looked at the timeline of how Mario Kart games have been made?
Legitimately,
all over the
maybe
place.
I never even played it then. Because I don't remember playing that on DS.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fuck.
There's
Sorry,
the
everyone.
Mario Kart's like progression it's just all over. It's so weird with
Maybe
how they
this
made them.
is the one that I was talking about.
Mario
then.
Kart Wii?
Yeah, maybe
Mario
that's
Kart
it.
Wii is a C as well.
Yeah.
Like, because I had so much promise for Mario Kart Wii, because it was the Wii. I could get there and I could drive. I could sit here and actually steer my car as I go. And then I had the lack of responsiveness. And then I realized, oh, I just want to actually,
That's how it goes.
controls. And as a last just punch to the gut, they had the thing where you could hook your controller into it, and they call it the Wii wheel, not the wheel. Like, how do you screw that up?
Yeah, unforgivable for Dave. I'm putting it the highest of the ones in the sea because there are some good tracks in it, and it's still fine despite the motion stuff. 8's an A.
Yeah, I 8 is my second favorite, that's for sure. And I think it kind of just is one of those, hey, I'm going to encompass everything that we've done well, and let's just throw everything in the game so you can keep playing it so you don't have to go back and play the old games.
As Doug points out in chat, it's been out for almost a decade.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, it came out in, 14, and then they did it a little bit of a...
Even now, it
rebuild.
continues to be one of the most best-selling games for the Switch.
I feel sad about this. I don't like 8.
What?
And I can't say, like, I can recognize both that it is mechanically fine and all the love they put in it. Like, this is the only Mario Kart game for somebody they may ever have to own because they keep adding to it. It has so much variety. Something about the controls, something about the way, and maybe it's the way that they have like the track assist. And I hated it, but then you take it off and you're just like everywhere. So maybe I never got good enough at it.
You're just bad.
But like,
I think you might just suck at the game.
You might just suck because it's not that bad.
And like that's
the track is awful.
There's a chance of that, but like I've never had that problem with Mario Kart before. And I just like I couldn't get around it. Something about like the magic. It just wasn't there for me with 8.
Is the drifting too much?
I don't know. I can't even tell you. Okay. I just remember like, oh, this just isn't. Maybe nostalgia is overriding like my brain. I don't know,
it just sounds like we need to get 8 and then all of us play it together and we just all watch Sean suck at it and then we're like, yeah, you're just done.
I played plenty of 8.
We'll just kick your ass at it and then we'll know.
Doug says what I was going to say. The carts are so customizable that
Yes.
maybe you had a bad combination because you can get ones that are really good at handling, you can get ones that are really good at acceleration. Like the differences are stark in this game.
Sean doesn't know how to design a car.
Now, and to be clear, on 200cc, everything's a fucking mess. You are pretty much going too fast for every track, but that's why you don't play 200cc. Put it in the bottom of A.
Personally, this is the first one I really got to play with the kids, and it's really fun because it's fun to watch my kids suck at it and then get really good at it after a couple of years. So it's been kind of fun for that.
A moderately temperatured take. I have the Mario Kart arcade game in low A. It is one of those things I will go seek out when I'm at the arcade.
It's pretty fun.
I love the whole like take your picture and put yourself in a dumb Mario disguise, and then that shows up when you're playing the game. I think it's really fun. It obviously has some cheap mechanics because it's an arcade game, so it's meant to keep you coming back. But like, I think it's a blast. It's a cool implementation of the IP.
I feel like so often arcade games are they fail your expectations, and I feel like this one is actually fun. I'm not continually disappointed at the arcade.
I really haven't played it enough, so I don't have a strong opinion in one
Chris,
way or the
then
other.
I guess it's A because we both like it.
All right, I'll put it at the bottom of A.
I have a comment on Home Circuit. I actually have this thing.
I have a comment on it. Go ahead.
It is such a great idea and does work, but you are limited by what you have in your home. And it doesn't move very fast. Like the little cart doesn't move very fast. And if you really want to get creative and have a lot of open space in your house, it could be great. But like in my house, what ends up happening is I end up sitting in the middle of the living room and they drive around the kitchen and then they drive around the living room and there's really only one course you can make because the range on this sucks. Like the Switch control of this car, there's no range on this. So you actually have the physical car and you get to make your own Mario Kart circuit in your house, which is great. And yet you can't go more than like 25 feet away. It's just like, oh, okay, well, that's hard to do.
It's tough because I'm sort of with you on every step of that because the idea is phenomenal. I would have loved that when I was a kid. And it's not like it doesn't work. It does to a certain extent. And that's the hardest part because you would really want to make like, oh, I have this big house. I'm going to set up this huge course. I'm going to do this many turns. I'm going to make a bridge. And it's like, okay, but if you ever leave this radius, you basically lose the race because you've lost your signal and now everything fell apart.
Yep.
So
and
like,
if you forget leaving your Switch plugged into your TV while you do this, because if your TV's in one corner of your house, you try to drive to the other corner of your house, forget it. It ain't working.
So like, I almost feel like I want to put this in D, even though it's unfair because it doesn't really belong there. But like, there's a reason why no one's talked about this since about 3 weeks after it came out.
I would put it in C myself because it is still fun.
I'm putting it top of D. I was going to put it bottom of D, so congrats, Dave. You did have an
Oh,
influence.
yay.
Let's shift to the Mario parties because they're why Cody is here. Cody, you have the floor. I have a couple of these I care about, but you need to give me a reason why I need to care about any of these more than like lumping them all together in one Mario party.
That's fine, because we're going to skip over every GameCube one because I never fucking played any of them. So we have a nice big jump from basically 64 into the Wii and everything like that. All right, let's see. What did I write down here?
Is Mario Party 1 the best, Cody?
No, it's not. Not even close. It's
Okay.
actually, it's too bare basics. Like, the idea was there, and they created, like, this fun board game aesthetic and all that. But there's a lot of things that are just missing from one. You go back and play it, and you're like, well, but I can't have an item? But wait, there's like 3 different kinds of spaces. Like, there's just a real lack. Like, it doesn't feel like it's a finished game. Because they came up with the idea, and they didn't come up with a bunch of other, like, fun ideas with it. So, like, the first one's influential because they started this series. But, like, I don't know that I have it higher than, like, a high C.
Sure.
It's really not fun to play. Because 2 and 3, which are very similar games, and I think there's some criticism of the fact that they're both basically too similar and not a lot changed. But 2 starts to let you hold items. There's duels. There's battles. I think 3 adds a third item. So 2 and 3 to me are the best games in this series. I don't know how high you're going to let me put them. But
I have 3 as the best in the series.
And I agree. That's to me 3 is the best in the series, and 2's not too far behind because they are pretty similar. But 3 there's some criticism of like, oh, the Millennium Star, I think, is the guy who leads the game and things like that. I've seen people bitch about it. I'm like, this thing's awesome. 3 is easily the one that you would go back, and if you think of Mario Party, to me, you're thinking of what you've got in 3.
Yep.
So, like, I'm putting 3 high A as much as I can. I don't think you're going to put a Mario Party game in S because I think they're just too simplistic.
And I don't think I can put it above any of those
mainline
4
games.
titles.
So that's what I'm saying. Dropping it there because
I can't put it there either. I gotta go there in A.
These games are simplistic. Like, there's not a lot to them. There's not a lot of depth here. But this is why, like, the original one is probably low C. It's just not very good. Number 2 is probably mid, low B, is my guess. Because I guess it's similar enough to 3, but there's still just some stuff that isn't advanced.
I have trouble understanding how you differentiate which one's which, because honestly, like, they all blend together.
Because there's probably no game in this world I played more. I played a lot of Battle 64, but there's probably no game I played more growing up and getting into the Wii as well, which I'll go with those games in a second, than Mario Party. It was just an easy game. When you have, again, a bunch of people over, and we now have this existence where you can have 4 controllers in a game, and it's so simple. I mean, I had a 64 and 4 controllers almost immediately when that came out. And I had friends over, and these were the easiest games to play, because as much fun as the mainline Mario games are, there's only one player. And they don't want to sit around watching people fucking play the thing over and over again. And it's just felt like one of the earliest games you could have. Okay, we've created a game or a console where there's 4 controllers. What can we do with the 4 controllers? Which is hilarious because we've now moved away from that, basically. And everyone's fucking console is 1 or 2. But that's why I've got, let's see, where's the Wii? Let's see. Wii's first one is, what is that? 8, I believe. I played 8 in 8 came out late in my high school run, and we played the fuck out of this game. And I don't think it's the most amazing one, but there's a couple of levels in there that are a lot of fun, and they started to add in a lot more of the other characters. I think in 8 you could play as Dry Bones, just randomly. That's just a character you have added to this thing because they were like, well, why don't we just throw everything in here?
What console is 8 on?
It's the first Wii one.
I hate it.
What? Well, do you think 8 is 9? Because 9's the one where you all sit in a car together and you move all together across the board, and that motherfucker should be as low as we can possibly put it.
In D.
I'm fine with that one being in D. I'm pretty sure it was 8 where I was like, oh, turns out I fucking hate the gimmicky motion control.
See, and I think they actually did a pretty good job of minigame adding this in because they had the ability to finally do it. And I thought they did a pretty good job with, like, okay, so the Wii has motion controls. Well, what better game to add this into? Like, because today's point, it fucking sucked in Mario Kart.
Yeah.
It wasn't very good. It was glitchy as shit. This game, I thought, actually matched it up pretty well because you're just shaking it up and down or jiggling it or whatever, and I thought it worked out pretty well.
I already have a beef with Mario Party because they're just like all like unbalanced mess of just random fucking whatever, and that can be fun. But it's always, I never leave a Mario Party not frustrated.
Good, that's what you're supposed to do.
That's what you're supposed to do. That's the whole point.
Did you ever fucking play Monopoly with your family? Because guess what? Monopoly was fucking infuriating over and over again.
Monopoly.
And Mario Party is just fucked up, like, computer-assisted Monopoly.
Exactly. I feel like in Monopoly, you can fuck up. I feel like Mario Party was fucking me.
Well,
and that's Annoying.
Oh no, trust me. If I could spend hours pointing out that Mario is a rigged character in every Mario Party game because the fucker wins every time the computer controls him.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not going to take up a shit ton more time on this.
Well, we're kind of talking about all of them at
Yes,
once, so it's
Essentially.
okay.
We're doing a blanket
I gotta say, Cody, it's funny you mentioned Mario Party 8 coming out in high school because I played the shit out of Mario Party 6 in college, and adding alcohol into the mix when you're in college playing Mario Party 6 on GameCube, holy shit.
I was leaving out the things I might have done while I also played Mario Party 8 at 18 years old. I was leaving those details out because, again, a lot of, like, when you're in your first year of college or you're right out of high school, you're not taking your senior year very seriously, and you have Mario Party over and over again, and you have a house where basically everyone's at my house all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing because we never bought this game. We rented it over and over and over again because we were so poor.
Spent so much more money that way, I
absolutely
think.
did. And then our richest friend finally got mad that we were doing this and went and fucking bought it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm leaving this at your house because this is the only place we play it at. But why the fuck have we spent like $100 to $200 renting this game every weekend and stealing it out of the Red Box or whatever fucking place it was coming from?
So I suspect for me, Mario Party starts like really high. The first few, maybe you can say 2 and 3, it's like an A, and then it kind of goes down for me. Peaks at 5, I think, and then it really starts going downhill. I think 9 or 8 for me, that's the one I played, is like a C. At 9, I don't even know. If you're saying it's worse,
9's the worst game in the series.
Oh, he already put it in D, so that's fine.
And honestly, if I don't know, I haven't played all these games. To me, every game on this list so far, it's easily the worst one. They ruined the aesthetic and the point of Mario Party because they're like, well, what if everyone's like on screen together? Because I think they thought that people got out of the game when people were across the board or whatever. That's what a fucking board game is. You made a board game, and then you were like, but what if we took the board game idea away and made you all stand next to each other?
It was one of the few things you could have strategy in Mario Party.
Exactly.
At least you could be like, all right, well, if I roll this, I can go this way, but this is this way. So, okay, I'm going to plan for that, and whatever I roll, I'll adjust. Because, a lot of the other shit, especially the end game, is just luck bullshit, right?
Yes.
So then taking away the ability to move around the board differently than your opponent, it's like, what the fuck are we doing here? Just flip a coin. Yeah. Just flip a coin and drink for that. What the fuck?
I have a soft spot for 8 also because it had one of the weird, funnest levels, which was Shy Guy's Train, where you went up through it, and then you went up, and then you went over the top, and you just circled this thing back and forth over and over again. And for whatever reason, I was like, okay, if you want to condense everything and make everyone interact more, then just make a smaller map. And that's what I thought 8 did actually okay. I'm like, all right, fine, make a smaller map so we're running over each other and stealing shit from each other over and over again.
I would probably have, I think 7 might be my favorite, but I don't care enough to rank it. If 5 made it, it might be a B. But I kind of like just having 3, 2, 1, 9 in there.
Yeah.
Just leave the rest
The
alone.
only one I would throw in also is the newest one because Superstars is basically just a throwback to all of these ones.
It's kind of like a collection of them. It's hard to rank. We have a couple games like that on this list where you're like, okay, that's its own game,
and we
but
don't we don't have to necessarily rank it, but honestly, they took a lot of what was good from all those early ones and they stuck it into the Switch. And it's like, okay, so it's updated, it's a couple new characters, and it's a perfectly fine game. Like, especially once these games go on sale for like not $60 or $70. You're like, okay, well, now I get to play a lot of the classic Mario Party shit that I liked.
Yeah.
In the newer platform, it's easier to play if you don't have a fucking 64 sitting around.
You could argue the same thing or something similar about like Mario All Stars.
Yeah.
Well, that's Mario 1 and 3, so that has to be S tier. It's like, well, no, because
right. So
I will say the Super Mario Party, the one that was specifically released
the first
for the
Switch.
Switch.
Yeah.
The first. I actually really like that. The game, the boards are fun. There is a lot of other things to do in there too. There's a baseball game somehow in there. There is a lot in there that I actually really enjoy as far as Super Mario Party goes.
It's also really good. I just wasn't going to dive into that and take up a shit like 20 minutes of Mario Party time. It's perfect. It's perfectly fine. I think it got shit on a little bit when it came out. I'm like, this is actually a pretty solid game. Like,
I loved it. I still play it. Like
there's the mode where you can go
too.
down the waterfall all together and you're playing the mini games together and things like that. I'm like, all right, this is a way to not want to only strangle each other when you turn this game on.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
we unfortunately we have to move past Mario Party. I do like it. What about like I have a weird request. I really want to look at Yoshi's Cookie, unless Chris, that does not count as a Mario game, even though it's on this list.
We might as well fold them in. We'll just
I want to look at Yoshi, the original Yoshi game, in addition to Yoshi's Cookie.
So
I know
Yoshi's
both of them
Cookie,
well.
and I didn't know there was like I recognize the one on the left. What is that in relation to the one on the right?
So
which
Yoshi,
is clearly Yoshi's Cookie, but what's the one on the left?
The one on the left was for Mario, the original Nintendo, and it was a puzzle type game. which I love. The best part of this is that it was like a matching type of game. You'd have things falling from the ceiling, like different icons falling from the ceiling. But the fun part of it was if you match two things, they disappear and you just try to survive game. But they would have a bottom eggshell, and then you could stack things on top of it, and then a top eggshell. And if you could do all of them together, you get a massive bonus if you got a whole bunch of things together to clear.
So what's Yoshi's Cookie then?
That's with cookies and patterns. The difference is Yoshi's Cookie is all about matching patterns.
Okay, I played one of these. My mom was in the hospital at like a Ronald McDonald house. And the people in the house while I was staying there taught me Frere Jacques on the piano. And I played endless hours of Yoshi's Cookie.
It's one of Sean's favorite memories of his life when his mom was in the hospital.
I wish she was in the hospital more often. Just kidding. She's in there enough as it is.
This is why Sean doesn't let go his fucking Switch or his DS or anything.
Yeah.
He has core memories where he needs it.
I really love, this was at the time, one of the best puzzle games. I have no idea if it holds up at all. But it's not S, but I would say high B or maybe even A. I loved this game.
I want to say the original Yoshi game is actually on the Switch Online, the Nintendo emulator that's on the Switch Online. And I have played it recently, and it's still very fun. It's still really fun.
Fun. It's like same thing with Tetris. Not saying it's the level of Tetris, but Tetris endures throughout all the time because it's a simple puzzle game, but it's just really, really fun.
Yep.
So I would say Cody and Chris, I don't know if you guys have any experience.
I never fucking played any of this
these
shit.
Games.
I'd be high B, low A myself because they are solid puzzle games. If you want to call them Mario games, they're just puzzle games with the Yoshi sticker slapped on them.
Yeah.
I'm okay with high B. I enjoy playing that as well, but the problem is, and we can maybe adjust Yoshi's Cookie. If we're going to do this, we might as well do Dr. Mario.
I was going to say, let's do I never played it. But if you're telling me it is as fun or more fun than Yoshi's Cookie, then I would say
Dr. Mario is a fucking
you.
S tier. Dr. Mario is an S tier.
I don't know, Dave. That seems high, but if you love it, then
I absolutely love it. Dr. Mario puzzle game. I mean, second to Tetris only because Tetris is the original. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But Dr. Mario is so chaotic, so fun, so freaking good, and only the original one. I don't like any of the next ones, but the original one on Nintendo, amazing, absolutely amazing. It's an S tier for me.
That's right, Doug. It is Dr. Mario time. I would have it high A. I don't know if I can get to S on it.
I can't vote. So,
Doug, what do you want to say about it? You better be quick. We don't have time.
Doug, god damn it.
Because we're gonna be ignoring most of these. The one on the Wii was fine. 64 is good.
Where's Dr. Luigi?
No,
NES A tier, SNES A plus tier, 64 S tier. Yeah, some people would have 64 higher than the original.
I never really got into
the original was kind of like the puzzle game for anybody who didn't have Tetris.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Tetris isn't on this list. It's not a Mario game, so.
The fun part about Dr. Mario was, for me, it was the game as a child that I could get a lot of my family to play. My aunt didn't touch video games. I remember I went to my cousin's house. She had a Nintendo, and I could play Super Mario 3, and it was amazing. And then my aunt would come and kick all of our asses in Dr. Mario and be like, the fuck, you don't touch video games. You're already 40. How do you do this?
But
yeah, my grandma gave me some ass beatings in Dr. Mario, and she was 70. So.
But what's the plot of Dr. Mario?
That's a good
You're
question.
a doctor.
Just kidding.
And you're getting rid of viruses.
So we're running out of time, very quickly. Are we going to fold some of the RPG games into the...
No, they're coming now.
Oh, so we have to do them now. But that means we're playing against the sports games.
We're going to them now.
So just rapid fire. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are we starting with Super Mario RPG then? If we're doing RPG?
Sure.
I don't know. My only real experience, for the most part, with Mario RPG was the re-release that they just did. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was okay. I'm finding I don't like RPGs like this. The battles take too much time. The button presses are kind of annoying. The story I thought was it's very whimsical. I did not realize just how whimsical it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say low A. It was good.
Can we go back to the battles take too long for a second? No, we don't have time. It's a rapid fire
Okay.
thing, so it's...
Yeah, sometimes I just want to boom, boom, finish the battle, but you have to do the whole thing. And you have to hold all the buttons. And I was selecting characters that just had fast attack animations to just fucking get done with it already. Jesus Christ.
it's funny. It feels like that's what the remake should have fixed, because originally on Super Nintendo, when I got to play Mario in the style of Final Fantasy, all in, like in an instant. This was amazing to me. And when I was younger playing this on Super Nintendo, and I fucking loved it so much. It's still a mid-A for me because it's still so much fun. The addition of the new characters, playing as Bowser in this, like,
and
I don't
Gino,
know.
I mean, it's fucking. Gino, the fact that he's never showed up again is a travesty.
Yeah, Mario wasting IPs. I'll put it mid-A. I don't think it deserves to be an S. But I think it's easy to overlook its contributions now. When again, you play as Bowser, you play as Princess, who would happen again in Mario 2 and whatever, right? But like. I don't know. And the fact that this was this unity between Nintendo and Square.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why people were blown away by the announcement about the remake, because it was like, well, that relationship is gone now, right? Like, if anything, Square's in bed with Sony. So we're not going to ever see that. And then they announced a remake, and it's slightly better than the original.
Yeah.
I don't have a ton to say about most of the Mario RPGs. I fell off at a certain point. I do think Paper Mario and Thousand Year Door are worth mentioning.
Yeah, they're good.
Paper Mario is mine. I got to mention Super Paper Mario myself, but you can do yours first.
No, go ahead. I'm trying to find one.
There's one in the
regular Paper Mario is to your right, not to your left.
There's one, and then there's
Mario. There's a Paper Mario.
And there's another Paper Mario right there.
There's Paper Marios. So here's the 64 one.
Yep.
That's the one I saw. Yeah.
I never really played Paper Mario, so I got much. Super Paper Mario was the first one where you could kind of break into the 3D world, and so you had that ability to flip the screen, and that was on the Wii. I freaking loved that game. I thought it was funny. It's one of the stupidest but funniest games I've played in a very long time. The writing, I think, on it was fantastic. I love Super. Like, that is high A for me because I loved Super Paper Mario.
I really love the 1,000 Year Doors. I think the one that I played, that was the one on the GameCube, right?
Yes.
Really good. Really, really good. And funny. Like, they started really. Super Mario RPG is like whimsical. I wouldn't say I found it like hilarious. Paper Mario, there are moments that are just like absolutely fucking stitches.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say,
I think Paper Mario is a B.
I never played it, so I don't know that one.
There. It's good, but it's not nearly as important as Mario RPG, and then Thousand Year Door clears it by almost every means to where I'm going to put that right below RPG.
That's probably fair.
Fair.
Is this Super that I have here in my hand?
That's Super, yes, that's Super, and that's the highest of A for, like, high A for me.
Yeah, no, good luck. It goes low A. The problem is you didn't play the ones before it, so like the precedent was already set for that. Like Thousand Year Door might be the funniest game in the series. And I'm not saying that Super Paper Mario isn't, but it's like that formula already existed. So just because it was your first exposure does not mean I'm giving it undue credit. I'll put it in A out of respect for you, Dave, but it's going the bottom of A.
Dave, Mario and Luigi were also pretty funny. You might want to check those out for like humor.
Yeah, that's again. I think that was that on the DS.
Yeah. Those are Game Boy or DS, and
okay.
There's a moment I was a young boy in Lebanon, left home alone. I was scared, and I was playing Mario and Luigi. And there's a spot where Luigi like gets scared. He's alone now, and you're playing as him, and he's just like shaking, and he can't like barely move because he's just like vibrating with fear.
What a fun game that sounds like!
And it was really funny, and I remember it to this day.
So Sean's best memories of Mario are his mom in the hospital and a terrified little boy.
That's right.
Yes.
Now you might be thinking, what about the Mario and Luigi games? I don't know. You know, I played Superstar Saga. It was fine. It could be a B, but I don't care to put it on our list. Inside Story was a cool concept, I guess. Like you're just traversing different parts of Bowser and there's different puzzles to solve and almost some Metroidvania aspects to it, but I don't care to rank it. And like there's been so many of those games now that I'm kind of done. And thank God we're not doing Rabbids because at this point I would put a gun to my head.
Yeah,
I don't even get that one.
Tech Guy, formerly known as Tech Guy, he like doesn't play games ever, and he has somehow played both of the Rabbid games. And I'm like, why? What has pulled you from no games like this into the Mario game? It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. He likes them, but I'm like, just go play like XCOM or actually a good game. I would like just to throw Dream, what was it? Superstar Saga, Mario and Luigi. Just like a B. That was the one when I was in Lebanon, and it was funny.
I think it's good. But it doesn't, I wouldn't even have it above Paper Mario if I'm being honest.
Oh, no.
I'm going to put it right next to it. And Sticker Star is a D. All right, glad we talked about that. Anyways, moving on. Sports games. Pick your favorites. There's too many of them.
Tennis.
I have one I want to talk about.
Original tennis 64.
Tennis and golf. But yeah, tennis was great.
Tennis is, to me, the best sports game they've done.
This is back when they like really balanced all the sports games, which they are starting to kind of sometimes do now again. But Mario Tennis, pure. It taught me tennis.
Yes. Exactly.
What is love? What is the scoring system?
Maybe don't hurt me.
Yeah, it's I never knew. Mario Tennis fucking taught me.
What's funny is, like, in terms of you trying to find an actual tennis video game, there's a chance that Mario Tennis on the 64 is among the actual best tennis video games.
Yeah.
Because the mechanics of actually playing fucking tennis in it work really well before they were like, what if we superpowered a bunch of weird shit and had fancy dumb rackets and special hits? No, just fucking play tennis and just when you click it and you power like serve because you timed it correctly and you just fucking bury it.
Yep.
It's so rewarding.
That's Cody, I don't understand. Well, I kind of do, but like just give us the pure fucking experience. Same with golf. The same with golf. Back then it was golf. With Mario characters. Now you have all these special powers and it's still fun.
Yeah.
But I kind of just want to go back to when it was golf.
Like golf, the Super Rush one's a perfectly fine game. It's not terrible.
It's fine.
We played it and it was good. I think Mario Aces is fucking awful.
Me too.
The racket breaking mechanic in
Mario
that
Aces is a D.
That probably makes it that actually might be my worst game besides the Mario Party
I would
9.
consider putting that in D.
I remember we had a tournament in Colorado with the Aces and
it's not fun.
It turns out we didn't like it because it's like not tennis anymore. It's just bullshit.
It's like, oh, cool. I can break someone's racket. Like, oh, that's so super fun when the computer does it to me over and over again. I'm like, why am I playing this?
Yeah.
I felt so bad because my kids really, really wanted it after trying it in a Target, and then they bought it and they never touched it again.
You never touch it again.
They got it for Christmas. They got it for Christmas, played it for 10 minutes, and never played it again.
Cody, tennis and golf, I mean, like
I want tennis.
When you're talking about a sports game.
Yeah.
Here's my problem.
Sure.
Mario Tennis is the best game in the series.
Yes.
Mario Golf is not. Because Toadstool Tour is the best Mario Golf game in the series.
Oh, I don't think I played that one.
I didn't play it either.
Well, that's a problem then.
Oh, maybe that is Mario. So Mario Golf was for the 64.
Yes, they're both. Those are both for the 64.
The Toadstool Tour one was GameCube, if I'm not mistaken.
That might have been the one that I played,
Like I said,
though. That actually sounds familiar.
I don't mind the idea of like Mario Tennis making it. I'm guessing you guys have it around A.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know about Mario Golf versus Toadstool Tour.
Well, so I actually think because I remember the graphics were clear when I played Mario Golf, so that must have been on the GameCube.
Original 64 Golf's pretty choppy. I mean, it is an early 64 game. Like, it does not look great. Again, the mechanics of just, I want to play a golf game.
You know what? I know. So for sure, I played Mario 64 Tennis. I think Mario Golf, I played it on the GameCube. Because at the time when I was playing with my friends, it was a GameCube.
So that's what I'm going to put up there.
Okay.
We're going to, like, same with Mario Party. We might put a couple of the best and worst. We're not going to worry about every single one. But that's where I'm settling is those two in A. I can't put them any higher. Like, I can't put them above Mario Kart 8.
Well, which is totally fine. Again, I've gone back and played Tennis 64, and again, surprisingly, you're like, oh, I just want to randomly play a tennis game and play this with a group of people. The game holds up really well because it's just, I mean, it's almost like the precursor to what like Wii Sports Tennis was. It's just fucking playing tennis.
Next time we go to Phoenix, I wonder if we should just pull up like Mario Tennis.
It's fun. I mean, it's fun in a group of people. Absolutely.
Okay, what else should we hit?
Strikers.
I'm our Strikers representative, although a couple of us have played it and
First one's an A.
First one is an A.
Yeah.
Second one is a C at best.
The second one's a D.
Okay, there you go.
The red card system was fucking terrible. Awful.
But it's for the same reasons, right? Like the first one, for the most part, resembles
good arcade soccer. But mostly soccer.
Yeah.
And the second one was ridiculous power-up bullshit.
Yep.
And Battle League is fun, but has no depth.
Yeah.
So when you're playing the soccer part of it, it's like a B+. But then the fact that there's basically nothing to do, like you unlock gear that slightly changes your stats. Cool. Means it's like a C, but I don't know if I care to rank it.
I might just say Mario Golf Super Rush, because I played it, is like a low B. Like, it's good.
We don't have to put it on there because he put the other Toadstool.
Did anyone play the Mario Baseball for GameCube? Because
I heard it was okay.
It's the Mario Superstar Baseball right there where your mouse is, Chris.
Yeah.
I think this as a sports game stunningly is a high B. It was wacky, but also doable at the same time. It wasn't like you could just spam one type of thing. The pitching was fun because you could absolutely throw a pitch and then curve it any direction you wanted to, but it was still possible to hit it somehow, some way. So like if you're playing against somebody, you could actually have a fun game of baseball that was ridiculous, but also still fun at the same time. So
I mean, I can't judge you too hard because I still love Wii baseball, even for as broken of a mess as that is. I have a lot of fun with it.
I'm bummed out that they haven't revisited baseball more.
Yeah.
I mean, they've gone back to golf, they've gone back to tennis, went back to Super Strikers, but they haven't gone back to baseball.
I would like play a good Mario baseball game because I don't like MLB games, but I like.
And that's why you like the Wii Sports one because it automates and controls a chunk of the other stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I put it in B for the people who are listening. Sorry, I'm having a hard time with the mouse right now. It's okay. So now,
are Dave and I allowed to do Mario versus Sonic? One Mario versus Sonic Olympic Games.
We gotta like just make sure there's nothing that we're missing. Again, we're not gonna get every game of every series. I do want to throw in Mario Maker, but go ahead on the Mario Sonic stuff.
Which one do you want to choose, Cody? Because
it's got to be the first one, right?
Is the newest one.
It's going to be 08.
One I knew best, the newest. I know the newest one, the Tokyo one, because that's the one I have.
I have played almost all of them, and the original one was still the best one, honestly.
But like, why?
It was a new concept. Honestly, it's just a creative, fun concept to have a bunch of the Mario characters, a bunch of the Sonic characters. It's almost fucking Mario Party minigames, if we're being honest. It's just all sports-related shit. Pretty simplistic, double tap these and all that type of stuff. Like, there's not a lot of depth to them. I just think, I think the series itself has probably already overstayed its welcome because I don't think you need to do it over and over again when there's not really any difference to these games. It's just we're naming it Rio, we're naming it London, we're naming it Tokyo. And so if we want to do the most recent one, we want to do the first one, it doesn't really matter either way. I just think it's a unique concept to have like created and mushed all these characters together. And it's like it's like a low B. I mean, it's a worthwhile game to get and have fun. I think when you have kids, I think it's a very fun game to probably play with your kids.
Yes, it is a very fun game to play with kids because of the simplicity of it. Yep. But you know what's funny? When this game first came out, all I had in my head was I saw the advertisement for Mario versus Sonic at the Olympic Games. I'm like, wait a minute, they're like super rivals. Like, why are they on the same system again? Oh, because Sega fucked up and destroyed all the consoles.
To your point, why? Like, I still don't know why that's the only collaboration game they've ever had. That's what's weird. Because you've proven you can do it, but only in this Olympic. Like, why?
How do we end up with the Rabbids in an RPG and not a Sonic and Mario RPG?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Where did we go wrong?
Yeah, it's crazy to think, like, what could they do mashing all these characters together? How does Bowser and Dr. Eggman go together, or Dr. Robotnik go together? Like,
maybe it's like Sega and Nintendo both care about the Olympics, and so they're willing to put aside their differences.
Cash.
But
it's a way to make cash together.
Well, you know, to that point, you would think a Mario RPG with Sonic in it.
But you don't have to be like, oh, my characters are going to succeed in the game store or whatever. They don't need this bullshit of like story mode. It's just all of our fucking characters are licensed together, and they're playing really mini games together. Dave, the newest Tokyo one, is that the one where you go back into like old school looking Mario?
Yes.
That was a weird touch, but I actually thought it was kind of creative and unique.
I love it. I think they basically had two quick modes in it, like the 2020 Tokyo and then a 1964 Tokyo, which was just 8-bit animation. I'm like, I can appreciate this. This is
good. It was a funny idea that someone came up with and like, why not? We can just try whatever the fuck we want in this game series. So. Yeah, do the Tokyo one.
Which one am I grabbing and where? I don't know which one's fucking Tokyo.
Do the Tokyo High.
Like this one says Tokyo?
No, that's Beijing. Tokyo's the one next to it.
Tokyo's cover looks like it's them standing. It's right next to Beijing. That
one.
And where is it going?
I don't know. Mid, low B.
Yeah, mid B is fine. I'd probably put it. Right on Mario Party's fine because they
can't be higher than Mario Party.
We cannot put it above Mario 2. Come on, like let's be real.
That's why I'm trying to move
there
it
you
here.
Go.
And honestly, I have a beef with Sunshine.
No, you're not going to let it be above. That's fine. It's going
there.
Okay, right there.
That's good.
It's again. I just can't believe they haven't done more with Mario and Sonic together. Other than like Smash Brothers.
I feel it. Actually, I haven't thought about that in years, but now that you say it, it's like, what happened? I thought it was like the gateway into a lot more things, and it has been just to more Olympic games.
Right. Super Mario Brothers 35 is an A.
Yeah. That was amazing. Really I cannot. I would actually only put a B because they fucked us and didn't let us keep playing it. Like, why?
That's
What's
not
the reason not
fault.
to?
That's the servers and the Nintendo's fault. That's not the game's fault.
But that's still Nintendo's fault. Like, why? Why not? What's the problem? They still have Pac-Man online. Like, why?
I'm going to put it here right underneath the 3 sports titles that are in A.
They do make some weird business decisions that I just really don't understand.
We'll never understand Nintendo. We've gotten to this point already. I don't even really want to rank Super Mario Maker. I haven't spent an extensive amount of time with them. I don't really like building levels, but I like that they exist, and some people have done some really cool and creative stuff with them. So I don't think we should rank them because we haven't done anything with them.
I haven't played them.
Just wanted to shout them out.
I probably have the most experience with this because I figure this is a good creative outlet for the kids, and it is. Honestly, like the kids have created some really stupid short levels, but I appreciate the fact of it. But Mario Maker 2, I think, is the better of that by far because it's easily connected to other people's levels. And there's almost like an adventure mode where you can get people's levels through there. So, I don't know. It's also fun watching online the ridiculousness that people create. But I don't ever actually want to play through those. Yeah. So doesn't really help its case.
To be fair, the Rabbids games I heard are good.
They're going in D.
Well, I haven't played it, so I can't argue with you.
Sometimes some things have to go into the lowest tier by principle, even if it's not actually a bad game.
Because it's a bad premise.
Nintendo doesn't often ship something that's like unplayable trash. So, if we're really going letter of the law, we probably wouldn't have anything in D, but then the whole tier list is defeated.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Down into D they go. So, I've hit on pretty much everything I care about. I thought about nominating Mario Paint, and I'm like, I enjoyed that, but it's so weird and hard to compare to anything else that I'm okay with not having it on our list. So is there anything else you guys see here in what remains of this list that should be on there somewhere? Again, we've already picked certain representatives of certain games. I think it's funny that the Super Mario 3D collection is down there. We already talked about the collections. We're not doing that.
Can I get Super Mario Run in D? That's the stupid mobile game. And it was really odd that it was Super Mario Run and Sonic Jump. And it's like, what the fuck is going on, everyone? Why are you having a Sonic game where you jump and a Mario game where you run? This is mixing them, you idiots.
Yeah, and just for the audio listeners, I also put fun with numbers and fun with letters into D.
What about Mario is Missing?
I assumed that was on here somewhere, but I haven't seen it.
I thought the idea when I was a kid was like, oh, that's so cool. What a weird storytelling thing. I think the game is not good, but it was
a typing game. I think it was like a learning game. Like
Mario teaches typing's on here. I wouldn't dare put that in D, but fun with numbers and letters is D. Teaches typing, you can't really rank compared to these, but it'd probably be like B. It was fine. I don't know where Mario is Missing is. It might be...
It's missing. I said it.
God damn it, Cody.
But I think we've hit just about everything we need to.
All right.
I'm looking through the list. I don't see anything else where I'm like, oh man, we got to talk about that.
I'm trying to find. I feel like there's one more that Origami King is on there, which is a good extension. I haven't beaten it yet though.
It was okay, right?
It's okay. I got to get more into it. I haven't beaten it, so I wish I could say more on it. But I mean, we forgot the beauty that is Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix. I mean, come on.
Some fun songs on that, but we're not going to rank it.
Yeah, of course, but it's. I mean,
and I don't
unless
think,
you have the pad.
Like, in a perfect world, like, we should put like 64 up there. You can argue 64 is the better game. Dr. Mario 64 than Dr. Mario, but like, I think it's fine having one Dr. Mario game on it compared to everything else on this list. We had to rank all the mainline titles. We put a smattering of the other assorted side games, most of the carts because we played a lot of those, but I don't see anything down at like Mario Hoops 3-on-3. Never played. Didn't care.
Nope. Didn't even try.
They put the Mario characters into NBA Street Volume 3 anyways, so what's the point? Mario the top 100? No, thank you.
Nope.
Wasn't Mario Mike Tyson's Punch-Out? Yes, he was the referee, but at a certain point, like, then we're starting to stretch a little bit,
Yep. Yeah, it doesn't count.
Because I don't even think he's on here. I enjoyed playing NES Open. Like, that's the real precursor to Mario Golf.
That was the one. I actually really enjoyed NES Open for a Nintendo golf game. Holy shit, I love that game.
Good depth for it. You know what? I'm going to put it on our list in B. Because
it
it just can't be any better than that. But I'm going to put it. It can't be above Sunshine or
above Sonic. That's fine. Mario Sonic above Sonic.
Okay, we'll put it right there underneath Sunshine because that's the threshold. That's the middle ground. If we put anything above that, it doesn't fit there. Sean will have a conniption. So I think that's it.
All right, man.
So just a review.
There's so many Mario games.
For audio listeners, we ended up with 7 and S, and you could argue, do we slide the Galaxies up there?
I don't. Put one up there.
I don't.
We never even settled which one was really supposed to be higher than the others, so that's a tough thing to sell right now, is which one. The person who would argue for one of them is not here. I think he had Galaxies slightly higher, which I guess I could do. It kind of makes sense to split them, but they're still right next to each other, so this one goes to S because it was important. And I can't put Dr. Mario up here.
Ah,
Good, because it's stupid.
right.
I'm going to
It's
put it
not
right
stupid.
there.
It's amazing.
Still really, really good and really important, but that's where we're going to settle, I think.
What about Mario breakdancing?
I talked about that. You left, so
Yeah.
You left,
good.
so you don't get to be included anymore.
Okay.
No
Nope.
jokes there. So our S tier ends up as Mario 64, Mario 3, Mario World, Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart Double Dash, Super Mario Brothers, and Super Mario Galaxy, with Galaxy 2 and Yoshi's Island just missing the cut.
That's a pretty solid S tier.
Mm-hmm.
I think
7
so.
games. And we've added that to the 5 from Zelda. We'll look at the whole thing when we're all done. But 12 games in S so far. Next week is the RPGs. No, not these. We did most of these. But, the Fire Emblems, the Pokemons, which
Oh
they're not.
my
I
God.
don't have the big list anymore, but Pokemon is massive, obviously.
Bye,
Dave will not be
everybody.
here. He'll be gone. We'll touch on Xenoblade. We'll touch on Golden Sun, like all that stuff. That'll be next week. The final week is everything that's left. Donkey Kong, Kirby. We got most of Yoshi, but we'll see if we missed anything. Like we didn't get Woolly Tail or whatever, the Yarn one, Magic Yarn Ball. All those other series are going to get in the last week. We're just going to go through and see games that we like and pick them out and rank them. So
God, you're gonna see some passion come out with Fire Emblem. Holy
Not me.
shit! I'm excited.
well, what's nice is since we don't have to rank them directly, we know 2 things are just going to be an S, and we don't have to quibble over them.
Yeah, I mean that's for sure.
So that's going to be 1 plus. We'll see how the panel feels when we get there. But Michaela will be part of that. Dave will be disappearing because he has no fucking clue, and we'll see how that all goes. So next week, RPGs. Final week, the rest of Nintendo. At least all the main first-party titles, and then we'll see where we stand. Just as a programming reminder, we're off the first week of January. The next 2 weeks after that are best of 2023. A lot to get to in 2023. Those are going to be hard to fit into one episode. That's why we split them into 2. Even then, it's going to be tough.
It is.
That's the end of this episode. In between shows, you can find us at our website, objectionnetwork.com or youtube.com/objectionnetwork. Thank you for joining us as always, and we will see you next week.
Cody, are you here for Fire Emblem week? Are you here next week?
Just talking over the end of the show.
No, I mean
He's just trying to click a button.
It's